Hello, how's it going, everybody? My name is Devin Christie. I am in the exercise science program at Kaiser University. Today, we will be making a nutritionally sound meal, the chicken tikka masala. Now, this is an Indian dish, tomato base, with actually a pretty interesting background. Some say it might be from the Punjabi region directly. Others say it's actually a British take on the dish, which is why I picked it because I am from England and Indian food is huge in England. And then some say it was actually made by an accident by Shish Mahal, who is an Indian chef in Scotland. And he actually had a troubled customer who kept asking for different things inside of his curry until he eventually came up with it, like yogurt, the tomato, the different spices, and then he ended up with the chicken tikka masala. All right, well, let's get right into it. First, we'll be going into our ingredients. You can see over here, we have our olive oil that we're going to be using to cook our chicken. We have our different spice paste. Sometimes it's easier to buy the spices already put together a little bit. I don't have a big spices or a big spice rack. We have our jasmine rice that we'll be using. We're going to be using half an onion, half a zucchini. Our salt and pepper we're going to be using to put on the chicken here. We have a pound of chicken. And we also have some fresh spices here that we will be using. We have bay leaf, our chili pepper, our fenugreek salad, or fenugreek seed, our cardamom, and also some bay leaf. All right. The first thing we're going to be getting into is our rice because that will take. All right. The first thing we're going to be making is our rice. We're going to be making about 2 cups. I have our quick cup measurement out here. I'm going to get that into the pot. What I'm going to do next, I'm going to take this pot just with the rice in it, as you can see, and we're going to wash that as good as we can until the water is not white anymore. All right, now that we have our rice washed and the correct amount of water in there, which is about 1.5 cups of water per cup of rice that you have in there, we're going to bring that up to a boil, cook it for about 20 minutes. Not stirring too much at all because you don't want to disrupt any more of that starch. And then we're going to take it off and let that sit for about 10 minutes of about a 30-minute cook time. So now we've got that started, we can begin cooking the chicken and letting everything else simmer while we're waiting on that. All right, next thing we're going to do is we're going to get our chicken all prepped and ready to be put in the pan and get cooking. All right, so first we're going to I have tenderloins here to make this a little easier for me. So I kind of makes it easier to get it in the cubes that are all about the same size. So that makes cooking it individually, each one will cook about the same time and makes all the chicken cook the same, which is important for the time. All right, so we're going to take it out. Get each strip into about, I would say, 1 inch by 1 inch blocks and just make that easy for cooking. All right, as you can see, we've got our pieces of chicken all cut up into about equal sized blocks and ready to be cooked. All right, the next thing we're going to do is we're going to get our onion cut up as well as our zucchini because we're going to get them into the oil with the spices and cooking up first so that we can get that flavor, that harsh taste out of the onion before we go into throwing the chicken in there as well. All right. As you can see here, we've got our onion diced up and our zucchini cut into slices. All right, what we are going to do now is we're going to fry up our vegetables and get them cooked before we throw our chicken in. I have put some extra virgin olive oil in the bottom of the pan here. We're going to go ahead and put in our vegetables. And we're going to put in our spices, our bay leaf, the chili powder, the fenugreek, the cardamom. We're gonna put all that into the oil now so we can get all that flavor all throughout. Alright, so we got our oil going, the spices, the onions, the zucchini, are all in there. We're gonna have that in there for about 5 to 7 minutes, stirring occasionally, just until those zucchini get a little bit soft and the onions are nice and caramelized. And then we're gonna go ahead and put the chicken in. Alright, so the vegetables have been cooking for a little bit. You can see it's getting nice and golden in there. It's cooking down. I did put a little bit too much oil, so we are going to get some of that oil out before adding some of that chicken into there. Alright, our vegetables have been cooking down. You can see how nice and golden that is. We are going to add our chicken in now that the spices and zucchini are nice and soft. In goes the chicken. It's important to space it out. Try to get as much of it flat towards the bottom so that it cooks evenly as possible. You can see here I definitely made a good decision going with the bigger pan. Alright, so I'm going to leave this here and let the bottom brown for about 2 or 3 minutes, and then I'm going to flip it over and do that again. As you can see here, we got one side cooked, we're flipped over, and we're now cooking the other side of the chicken. Going to let this side go for about another minute, 2 minutes, and then we'll be ready to add our tomato-based paste in and really get our curry going. Okay, our rice has been cooking for about 5 or 6 minutes now. Just going to take out a piece and cut into it and make sure that we are ready to eat. You don't want chicken to be undercooked at all. It's not like steak or beef. You want it to be cooked all the way through, or there's a chance that you could get sick. And as you can see, a little bit close, it's actually undercooked, so we need to leave it in there for another few more minutes. Alright, we have checked the chicken again. We are good to go. We're about to add in our actual tomato paste. All mixed in. We're going to let that sit for about 15 minutes and just simmer through all the spices, all that tomato, all that yogurt. That's just going to go right into the chicken. It's going to make it nice and tender. And we'll be ready to eat here just about very soon. Alright guys, so there you have it. Everything has simmered out. Our rice is done. We have our chicken tikka masala over a bed of jasmine rice. About 1 cup serving is going to yield about 50 grams of carbs, 22 grams of fat, and about 33 grams of protein. One thing to remember about this dish though is that the sodium can get a little bit high after you've added all the seasoning, and then adding some more table salt on top of that to taste. You can get upwards of 1,500 to 2,000 milligrams of sodium just in one serving. So that is something to be aware about in the future. But there we go.